Hi everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the Claymore build. If you haven't seen part 1, click on this link. If you have seen part 1, let's move forward and see how far we get this time. What we're going to do now is sand the blade into shape. Most of it will be done by hand. I'm also going to be cutting a wedge out of the back piece over here so I can get the angle. And once that's done, we'll have a pretty good looking sword. Now be careful of your hands, these things are sharp. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to split this down the full length to get the general blade shape before we start sanding. Since I already cut these two halves out, I haven't done that side yet, I've started sanding this down. I first ran a piece of sandpaper across the top of it by hand. Now I'm using an orbital sander. The problem with this thing is you've got to be very, very careful. What you want to do is you want to get your angle and take it down piece by piece. When using the sander, be sure to use your respirator because of the amount of particles that gets thrown up, and you don't want to breathe that stuff in. And that's how you have to work through the entire length of your project. Be careful. If you press too hard, it's going to run through, and if you lift the thing on its tip like that, it cuts the styrene. So be careful when you're working with it. Otherwise, if you want to feel safer, just sand it down by hand, but it will take a lot longer. The first side, sand it down, but we're halfway there. So I'm going to carry on with that side, and when I'm done, I will show you how it looks. Now that we've finished sanding the styrene into shape, this is what we have. Which brings us to the next phase of the build, and that is to coat this with a PVA glue. Wood glue, white glue, or plain old school glue. All these glues dry clear, and that is what we need, because when we start putting the smooth cast 65D coating on this, it's going to need something to bite into. You can be generous with the wood glue. It's going to take around 4 coats. Now that I've got this coated in PVA glue, I'm going to take a ride out to a friend of mine who has a wood lathe. I'm going to be making the pommel piece as well as the crossguard collar out of wood. As you saw, that is the need for the 4x4. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll show you the results when I get back. After spending the day with a wood lathe, we have some results. This is the pommel piece, along with the diamond that goes on the back, and the crossguard collar. These are going to get a coat of wood glue as well, so that I can also cover them in smooth cast 65D, so it matches the rest of the sword. And that, my fine friends, brings us to the end of part 2. Promised I'd show you what the sword looks like, and that is what she is looking like. This is obviously after a couple of coats of PVA glue. Next time we are going to be getting into a bit of mold making, and hopefully we'll be able to finish the project off. See you next time.